How's it going, guys? It's Seth Holocron from Flesh and Blood Ireland, and Uprising has just been released across the world, unless, of course, you live in Europe or Ireland or the UK. And they've maybe got theirs today. We haven't got ours yet, but that doesn't stop people from actually trying really, really hard to build good decks. So I love Dara. I love Kasai. We're all, it's all good. Ninjas are good. Benji's great. The OTK deck was awesome, but now we've got a new one, and it's Fai Rising Rebellion. Love it, love it. So, awesome thing here. At an instant speed, once per turn action, you can spend three resources and get yourself a Phoenix out of your graveyard, which, if you have two or more Draconic links, gets +1. And then there are cards that do even more than that, which is just ridiculous. So, without further ado, welcome to Seth's Holocron's version 1 of a CC deck that we're pretty nailed into. We could probably take a couple of cards out to add in some really good Spell Void or Null Rune equipment for all the Lysander decks that are going to be out there. Because let's be fair, that Witch is going to be brutal in Blitz. Maybe not as good in CC, but let's see what happens. So, our new keyword is Draconic, as you can see at the top of the screen, just up there. Fai's Draconic CC. It's Rising Rebellion, as I said. And here we go. So there is our brand new hero, 40 health, all the normal stuff, and a brand new weapon called Searing Emberblade. So it's a once per turn action, like most things, unless you're playing Dash with the pew pews. Yep, pay 2 resources and attack. And if you control 2 or more Draconic things this turn, it has go again and it hits for 3. Now, I have tested a lot of Fai decks. I've tried hybrid things with head jabs and flying kicks and leg taps, all that sort of stuff. And it's all right. It's all right. And then I went full out ninja and it was pretty bad. So I thought, you know what? Let's just make a Draconic deck. And out of the 3, in my opinion, it is the strongest one I can make. So why is it so strong? Well, let's go straight down to the equipment. And let's go for... We'll do it in order. And we'll start with Mask of Momentum. What a card this is. So pretty much it blocks for 2. But if your first attack hits, your second attack hits, the third attack in a row hits, you get to draw a card. That, in Fai, who wants to go as wide as a terrace at a stadium, yeah, that's awesome. Card drawing is just brilliant in every single card game I've ever played, and I've played a lot of competitive card games and traveled the world, so that is really good. Problem is, people are going to stop either the second or the third attack, so this puts the fear of the Almighty into your opponent, and if you really need to, you can block for 2, which is the other reason why Breeze Rider Boots, all the way back from Crucible, is in here, because it blocks for 1. You're never going to do anything with combo if it hits, because this deck doesn't have any combo cards. It is essentially another 1 block that you can use if your health total is going in the wrong direction. Fendal Spring Tunic, wow. Well, I mean, a staple. It's a generic card. Any hero can use it. Once every 3 turns, you get a free resource in a deck that is probably wanting to spend 3 resources. If you have your big turn, an awful lot of 3 cost, 3 attacks. That is why, although this card is banned totally in Blitz now, that's from the brand new updated Retcon horribleness. Can't play this in Blitz because I'd be absolutely broken. But it's still really good and still in CC. So this says, for free, crack it. Anything with 3 or less gets +1 and go again. And that's pretty amazing because what we've got here are some phenomenally great cards. So let's get into the deck. And we'll get a bit closer because this is going to be fun. Blaze Headlong. If you've played a red card this turn, this gets Go Again. It is a 0 cost for 4. It's above curve. 0 is normally in most Flesh and Blood decks a 3 cost attack. This is a 0 for 4 and it has Go Again. So you can't play this in your first strike, but there are an awful lot of Draconic cards that just have inherent Go Again, and we will be getting into those further on down. But let's go to the next card, which is a really interesting card, I think. This is Cinder Claw. Now, I quite like this card a lot. So, the next attack number that hits, an additional cost for you. So pretty much, if you're running the Belittle version with snatches and all this sort of stuff, this card, which technically is in my sideboard because all my cards are Draconic, but it's still a 0 for 3 with Go Again. So pretty good, especially if you're using just bog standard cards, as I said earlier, like Head Jab, Ancestral Empowerment, all that sort of kind of carry on. Not so bad at all. And then we will go to the third card, which is Breaking Point. This is a 1 for 4 and needs to be played at a certain time. Very good to put into your arsenal because it has the Rupture keyword, which is a brand new keyword just like Draconic. So there's a lot of things in here. Fai works off a lot of Draconic things. So his weapon works. Play your second card. Bang, now your weapon gets Go Again, as long as they're all Draconic. The one before would make every card in your deck Draconic. That's pretty decent. This is saying once you get to Chain Link number 4, you can hit this. It's coming in for 5 for 1 resource, but if it hits, well, then it's doing disasters to your opponent's arsenal spot because, you know, Command and Conquer cost 2, hits for 6, does exactly the same thing, minus you can't play defense reactions. This is pretty decent. 1 for 5 with a similar, very similar effect. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Rupture is class. I really enjoy that. Very interesting card being talked about in our play group a lot is this. I like Cinderskin Devotion. It is pretty good. Again, play another red card first. If you play the second, it's a second chain link. Off you go. It has Go Again. It's coming in for 1 for 4. That's that lovely breakpoint. Because, for instance, if you're playing Briar or you're playing Lexi, if you're blocking with arrows, well, most arrows block for 3, but actions all cost for like 2. So it's a 2-card thing or a 3 and a piece of equipment. But that's good because that's maybe that equipment gone. Yada, yada. All good. And the wonderful thing about ninja cards is if you fulfill what is the text on the card, you get Go Again, and that is fantastic, which leads you into just cards that just have inherent Go Again, and this one is amazing. Dust Outlaw, what a card Dusk Runner Outlaw is. It is a 1 for 4, and just Go Again. You can play this straight out the bat. There are cards in here that say, if you have 2 chain links, bang, off you go. This card gets Go Again. This and Ronin, which we'll come to later on, is another excellent 0-cost Go Again card for Fai. This card, when I seen it getting revealed, blew my mind apart. Flame Call Awakening. So, only hits for 3, but it does amazingly good things. So you can get your Phoenix Flames, of which there are 3 in your deck. That's an auto-include, because without them you cannot win. You can start with one of those in your graveyard, and then you can just whip it straight out. And the whole idea of playing Fai, as I said, is attack, attack, weapon. That's 3. Go to your graveyard, yoink this out, bring it out, put it into your hand, hit again, that's 4. Now you can do this, get it back out again, hit it again, and there are other cards in this deck, because there's a lot of good synergy in this deck, which can allow you to do 3 things in here. There's also a card in here that does amazing things. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. Flame Call Awakening is absolutely fantastic, and in my opinion, an auto-include in the deck. as is this. This card is in flame. Comes in for 1. Well, that's a bit crap. It doesn't cost you anything, it's just 1, but that's not the point why this should be an auto 3 in your deck. It gets you another Phoenix Flame. Regardless, play it, get it, done, go again, off you go. Really good to start off combat chain with, excellent. There are so many cards here that you can just start off with either Inherent Go Again or anything else and just go 4, 5, 6 wide. It is so hard. And with the Mask of Momentum, making sure that on the 2nd or 3rd, or the 5th or the 6th, they are having to block. They're starting probably with 2 cards and maybe 1 in Arsenal. It's only 1. But even if you play that at the 3, they have to block with something. But in my opinion, you play this first, set yourself up for all the other cards that say you need a red card that you've played. Is excellent. Now, this, to me, is wonderful. So good, I only had it in blue, then realized, well, if I'm running it in blue, why not run it in red? So if you take a look at that text, if you have used 2 or more Draconic Chain links, it gets Go Again. It's 3 for 0. There's an awful lot of 3 for 0s in this deck to coexist quite happily when your big massive turn comes out, where you can hit for roughly 25 to 28 damage in 1 turn with stubbies, because now all your 3s are now hitting for 4. Your Phoenix Flames are now hitting for 2 instead of just 1. Everything has Go Again, and you just go to town, and easily in Blitz, this guy is going to be a utter monster. Now, Liquify, sideboard, another Rupture thing. It's okay. It's a bit like the other one. It has to be Chain Link 4, but it is pretty good. Simply because if you're up against Guardians or all these horrible cards with like really, really good equipment, technically it's in my sideboard. Yes, it's a Majestic. That's why it's really good, because then you just go, no, that can disappear. No, your Tunic no longer works. No, absolutely not. Oh, your Ram's Head. Oh, that no longer works. Just forget about whatever piece of equipment you've got. And we have ways of increasing that attack. That is the only thing in here that is an attack reaction. You go ping. If that is hit, you immediately ping that, and 1 piece of equipment is gone and done. Great little card, this. Mounting Anger. Now, I'm probably going to keep this in the sideboard as well, but as you can see on the screen, there's a lot in here that does an awful lot of good things. It's a 1 cost for 4. It's pretty good, but we have even better cards in the deck. But if you have this card, play it, because you are banishing cards. And unlike other heroes in Flesh and Blood, that once that card is banished, they can hardly get it out again, except for Chain. But, you know, he gone, so bye now. Thanks for playing. You can play that. From the banish, you can play it this turn. And you're not going to banish something. But if you can play this in the 2nd or the 3rd Chain Link, wow, all of a sudden we're getting really good carry-ons. And off we go. Speaking of off we go, let's go to the next one. Here is Phoenix Flames. Ira had Harmonized Kadachis. That's what these are. 2 Chain Links, brilliant. Fai's ability, brilliant. You've also got to remember that 3 cost on his ability. If you put out 3 Chain Links at instant speed in your turn, go grab it. Just go grab it. They know there's another card coming in. That is phenomenal in here. We all know how annoying it was playing ninjas. It'd be like, Kadachi for 1 after pitching a blue, Kadachi for 2 if you're playing Ara. If you're playing Benji, it's 1 and 1. Now you can block those because they aren't attack action cards, but it's annoying. It's chip damage and it needles away at your health, and all of a sudden, after starting at 40, you're on 22 and you don't quite know why. Brilliant things. Get them all into your graveyard as quick as possible, and there are cards, his hero ability, to get them into your hand and just go to town. There's another Phoenix thing in here, which is Phoenix Fun. Yep. So, if you control 1 or more Phoenix Flames, it is Go Again. If you have controlled 2 or more, it gets +2. And if you control 3 in the same turn, well, then you get to draw 2 cards. How many? How many cards are you getting to draw? Oh, and then off you go, because nearly everything in here has got things that are phenomenal. Like, absolutely phenomenal. Let's see what else we can actually do here. So where were we? That's it. Now, this card I think is absolutely fantastic. It is so good. Rise from the Ashes is being played in this deck, both in the red version and the blue version. It's an attack action. I have 6 action cards. That is it. You can read it on the screen just how good this is. +3 for your next attack. And that's not all it does. It's a tutor card as well. You can then go and grab a Phoenix Flame from your graveyard and put it into your hand. We now have 7 ways of being able to get that card into our hand to play to threaten more damage. It has also got Go Again, and it is also free. This card is ridiculously good for Fai. It is wonderful in every dimension. Auto include. Don't even think about not doing it. Now, Rise Up is a dual specification between himself and herself. So the Dragon Lady and the Fairy Sakotchia Ninja Geezer. It's okay. You get a dominate effect and a +1 and all that sort of stuff. But it's very hard to pull off, and it does cost 2. Again, I like it a lot. It's a good Majestic, but for me, it's going to be in the sideboard until specific heroes come out that I need to then figure out, yep, I think I actually do need that. Next one in is Rising Resentment. Now, this isn't a bad card at all. So when it hits, you can banish an attack action card from your board, number the amount of chain links, put that away. You can play it this turn, all good. Really good to just put things away and make it cheaper. Super card. Ronin Renegade. Well, absolutely the best card. That's a common I've seen in ages. 0-3, Go Again. How's your uncle? How's your dad? All good. Nothing wrong with Go Again cards at all, especially not in a deck that needs to refresh that action point as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Then we have Searing Strike. So when Searing Strike hits, you can take a... My eyesight is going. You go through the Draconic attack action links, do all that sort of stuff. It's coming in 1 for 4. It's a pretty decent card, to be honest. It is not bad at all, really. So I'm going to see if I can move this wee screen up a touch. See if I can do that. So that was Ronin. That was that one. And then we are into the blues. But we have missed out this. So, sideboard. Unless you're playing Icelander. And this card is then absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And an auto-include, just fire it in there. I play a 63 card deck. I would take the 3rd attack out to play this. It is magnificent. It hits for 6. It costs 2. But then you can choose one of the 3 things that it needs to do. You can destroy a Frostbite. That alone is pretty good. Problem is, if you've got a Frostbite, that's not really what you want to really be doing. But if you pitch it blue, that's your turn. You're still hitting for 6. You're not going 4 wide. You're not really doing an awful lot else. But this can unfreeze a frozen card, which is absolutely superb. Double hexing from the likes of Lysander will end up causing double damage. So if hitting for 5 arcane, it's now hitting for 10. That's a quarter of your life total. If you can get rid of cards that will allow you to go and do stuff, this card is an absolute must-have. And then For the rest of the deck, we are running 18 blues. Cinder Skin Devotion is in there. Ronin Renegade is in there. Lava is in there. There's a whole load of just really good cards. I will put the deck list up in here. How to play it? Well, if you've ever played Flesh and Blood and you've ever worked with ninjas at all, be it Benji or Ira, it doesn't matter which one it is. You want to go as aggro as possible. I run 18 blues. The rest are all red. Some of them have quantifiable go again. We can now block for a minimum of 4 if we're about to die with the leg piece, the mask, which you probably won't trigger, but my god, an extra 2 block and a one block thing to at least get into 3, so you're still hitting your Phoenix Flames, is awesome. I've been testing this a lot on behalf of going over to Lille for the Pro Tour, so wish me luck for that in August. Lots of testing to do. I've got 2 months pretty much to get this or Briar epitomized in my mind. I'll probably take both. But for an Uprising hero, and this guy is seriously good. My name is Seth Holocron. You are watching Flesh and Blood Ireland. If you haven't already, please follow and subscribe our YouTube channel. We will be bringing stuff to you. I will be doing more deck analyses later on. But until then, thanks for watching. Take care and keep playing flower games in your local friendly game store. Bye-bye now.